Bitcoin gives you financial freedom if you hold your own keys. Take full control with the new Blockstream Jade Plus, the leading hardware wallet solution for investors seeking secure access to Bitcoin capital markets. Visit store.blockstream.com today to order.
Welcome back to Bitcoin Capital. Today we're looking at Bitcoin growth in Brazil and Latin America. Joining me today is Rocelo Lopes, a Bitcoin pioneer from Brazil who's been working in the space since 2013, first as a co-founder of CoinBR, one of Latin America's first big Bitcoin miners, and then later moving into the crypto payments business, bridging the real economy with Bitcoin and Twitter, and is currently the CEO of SmartPay. Rocelo, welcome to Bitcoin Capital.
Thank you very much for having me here. It's going to be nice to explain how things are happening in this side of the world. Well, right now it's Carnival in Brazil. Well, everybody's having fun, but it's going to be nice to talk about it, what's going on with cryptocurrency here.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to understanding a little bit more. I think it sounds like, so recently we did Plan B in El Salvador, and I had an opportunity to talk with some people from Brazil, and I actually didn't realize how much was going on in Brazil. So it's really exciting to get an update. So starting maybe a bit with your background. So you started off in mining way back in 2013 or 2014. How did you first get interested in Bitcoin, and why did you start with mining?
Well, the reason that I got interested was because it was a very funny story. I was working in my company, a telecom company in South Africa. We still have the telecom company there in South Africa. And then one of our users, his bills was like 6 months past already. And he's a very good friend of mine. And then one day he came to me and says, listen, man, I feel really bad not paying these bills. Can I pay with Bitcoin? And my answer to that was like, listen, you can pay me in gold, wine, not with this coin thing, which is a fake thing that you guys is talking about. And then he says like, please, let's do a deal. I give you 1,105 Bitcoins because that's how much was worth his bills, like around $180,000. And then he told me, within 6 months, you give me the coins back and I pay you the full amount in rents. So, well, fair enough then, fine. I mean, there's not hurt. And then finally he introduced to me, he explained to me, and when that time, 2013, was not like today, you just download an app in your mobile and then you're good to go. No, it was very difficult. So I learned how to do it. But then I completely forgot. We forgot and then we let it go. So then on November 2013, I was in Hong Kong, and then my secretary, she said, listen, there is a company in Tokyo. They can buy those funny coins that we have. So, okay, let me go there. So then I went to Tokyo to speak with the guys from Mt. Gox, and they offer me, $1,100, but I could not understand. And then I said, like, no, I'm not going to sell that. It's like worth it 180,000. Well, I'm going to sell to you for 1,100. And it says, no, it's per coin. That got my attention. So that's how I got it, because that got my attention. How can something that was worth it like 180, right? Yeah. And then now became like 1,100, like something's wrong here. Then I decided to get involved, flew all the way back to Argentina for the first Latin America conference here, a La BitConf. And then the reason that I went there was to understand a bit more and also to talk with Satoshi Nakamoto, because I saw the code. And I said, like, this code is horrible. It's a lot of problems. And this 10 minutes thing and then 1 megabyte, how the hell is going to support like all the transactions in a block of this size? Okay, I know a lot about cryptography. I know a lot about programming. My thing was that, I'm going to go there, help the guy. Maybe together I can help him to build something better. That was me getting started with Bitcoin. And then when I got in Argentina, of course, they told me that, no, you're not going to speak with Satoshi Nakamoto. And I was mad. So I was like, who the hell this guy think he is, man? He's not talking with people from the industry. And then I realized how Bitcoin was generated. Then I realized there is no person behind Bitcoin. They says, okay, so if there is no person behind Bitcoin, how this person, they're responsible for that, are going to be tracked. So there is no way to track this people, this person. There is no way to change. It's a lot of complicated things. So now I understand. Now this thing has a feature. Then after that, 2014, straight to Taiwan, and then I did my first order of 5,000 GPUs. That's how I started in Bitcoin.
Huh, that's funny. And so, but why did you jump into mining right away? What was the drive to go into mining rather than other parts of the industry? I guess the big options at the time would be like, maybe starting an exchange, maybe starting a wallet, or to get into mining.
Well, I got in mind because when I realized that I could produce my own coin, so I could be the place that generates money. And like, why am I going to go to the market? Why am I going to buy this thing? Why am I going to trade this thing when I can generate it? And all I need is like a couple of developers, technicians, and then was hard to find them because no one knew it about it, right? So then I said, okay, if I can print my own money, that's it. But then I had one issue there. When I start to print my own money, the thing was like, okay, what am I going to do with that now? Because was nothing available. Okay, I can trade on exchange. And by the way, on that time, I was helping people on the YouTube how to trade on Bitfinex, because on that time Bitfinex was just starting. I think they were mirroring, I think, the order book from Bitstamp, and I was on a YouTube helping people, explaining how to buy, how to trade, and was just a start. So that thing was like, we need to find a way to do something better with Bitcoin. But yeah, on that time I decided it's just because was the only thing like I could think about. Okay, I'm going to generate my own money.
And what was the mining scene like in 2013, 2014 in Latin America? Were there other people mining kind of in the region, or?
No, I was the first one. And then there was the other thing, Jesse. I got in Brazil because when I started, okay, we need to mine. We need cheap electricity. We need a very easy way to import the machines from Taiwan. Well, that time was GPUs because the ASICs was just starting, was just grid seed and all those. And then I said, well, there is one place that I know that the electricity is very cheap and it's very simple to import and import equipment. And that one's Paraguay. So the last is the place to go. And me as a Brazilian, I know everything about Itaipu, which is one of the largest hydro power plants in the world. So, okay, we're going to go straight to there. And then I got there, spoke with the government. And I told them I'm going to need a lot of electricity. And they told me, yes, don't worry about it. We have enough here. I go, yeah, I do believe, but I don't think you guys realize the amount of electricity that I'm talking about, right? So then they said, no, don't worry. You just can come. And the Taiwanese government helped me also to set up the mining there. But everyone was looking to...
Taiwan and Paraguay still have diplomatic relations.
Yeah.
I'm in Taiwan right now, so that's how I know.
Oh, okay. So then you know exactly. So then there is an industrial park of Taiwan in Paraguay. So everything that we import to that industrial park is a tax-free zone because it's more like you still in Taiwan because it belongs to the Taiwanese government, right? So then it was perfect. So then I don't have to pay import tax, and I have a special cost for the electricity. Oh, that's no brain, right? So let's do it. But everybody was looking to us like, what the hell those guys are doing? I even have and then that's another funny story, because when I was trying to, right in the beginning, I was trying to learn how to mine this thing, okay, in a very good way. And then I use my father-in-law's farm to do the whole lab part. And I started to use a lot of electricity. One day, the police show up on my father-in-law farm because the police showed there, like saying, "What are you guys doing over here?" Because your electricity from like 1,000 reais go to 40,000 reais. Okay, I explain, show to them. So it was like, and then even in Paraguay, same situation. We got the authorities coming to visit. Of course, they asked permission to get in. So it was a lot of things happening there because no one could understand, including the authorities in Paraguay. And then till one day, they realized the amount of electricity that we actually asked. One day we got the mining machines, and then we're mining ASICs. We got the mining from Spundle Stack, was a company from Israel, and we got like 500 machines at once. And then we plugged all the 500 machines, and then we put fire on the power grid. So they call me. I was in Brazil, said like, Rocelo, you better come here. So it's like, man, I was there yesterday. Why do you guys need me there? So yeah, let me show a video. And then they show me the video with the network. I mean, the electricity was in fire. So then, okay, cool. I'm gonna go there tomorrow because I know for sure they're gonna need to talk to me. Then I went there and I explained to them, guys, Andy, I told guys, listen, we need a lot of electricity, as I explained right in the beginning. But looks like you guys did not realize. And they said, no, don't worry about it. We're going to replace everything. Everything's going to be fine. Oh, good. Give them a few days. All right. A few days later, they replaced all the cables. But they did not replace the substation. And then, of course, we exploded the substation, right? So because was not prepared to that. And then the whole Hernandarias was without electricity for 2 days because they didn't do the job. Then they told us, okay, you need to move to another location because this location is not prepared to you guys. Then they start to realize. On that time, we're already mining. That was 2015. We're already like with 5,000 machines, 6,000 machines mining. And still people are like, oh, you guys are doing some big stuff. Then that's why we decided to go big, because on that moment was very, very good mining. And then we started to the Bitmain tech, and then all the machines start to come, and then we start to buy one after another.
And so how did you go from there to payments? What was the segue from mining and then to get into payments?
Well, it was two things. One, in my mind, was always like, all right, cool. We have Bitcoin, but we have to make this thing to be usable, but in an easy way. And then, okay, cool. I have Lightning, fantastic. But it's not everybody accepting Lightning. It's not everyone. And then even countries like Brazil, if the merchants here start to accept Lightning or accept Bitcoin or any other, or USDT, they're going to have a serious issue on the legal side, on the fiscal side, because they have to do a completely different thing that they are receiving money. So, and who's going to pay with Bitcoin? Well, a lot of people are not going to pay in Bitcoin. It's like even me. If you ask me, Rocelo, do you use your Bitcoins? Hell no. I'm not going to be the pizza guy. No, thanks, man. I will start to use my Bitcoin when there was like a million. Then I'm going to start to use my Bitcoin. Before that, forget about it. We're not going to use it. No way. There is no chance for me to use. And some people, they think also like me. This is my savings wallet. This is going to save me in the future. Savings mean in future. So I'm going to buy now. I'm going to hold it, especially right now, because it's in a completely like has a big discount on Bitcoin at the moment, right? So, but I was thinking, how are we going to do that? That was one of the reasons, right? The second reason, one of our clients on that time, well, he was around. I sold the mining farm around. We started the process 2017. Right after my wife was kidnapped on that time. And then the reason was because I was all over the news, the guy that manufactured money. So then I have the pressure at home to sell the mining field, the mining farm. Then one of our clients got banned in China to mine in China. And he was mining with us. So it was a very good moment. Wife is going to be happy. I want to have time to do my stuff. That what I want to do it, and those guys are paying a fair price. So okay, so let's put all together. And it was 2 years back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Finally, 2019, we sold it. Of course, I signed a contract that for 5 years non-compete, and then I have to stay in the bench. But on that time, I was thinking what to do. Then 2021. Says, you know what, I'm going to make something to connect the traditional financial system with blockchain. But traditional financial system was just getting started to, like here in Brazil, like I have Pix, which is a payment solution made by the Brazilian government, which is a 24/7 instant payment. So was on the right moment to do that. So we have Pix now. I understand more about blockchain, how to connect it, how to speed up the process. And then we had like all the things that I could do to make it happen. And then of course, that was in the end of 2021, but I still have to think about it to do all the whole thing, but because I could not work on the industry until 2024 because I have a non-compete agreement. So that gave me chance to do my things. And then it was right after COVID. So I think was everything combined to make me to move to payment solution on the right time.
And that's what your current company, SmartPay, does, is payment solutions.
Yeah, so today, SmartPay, we have two products as SmartPay. One of the products is an API that connects USDT straight to the financial system and vice versa. So a very simple example from Bitfinex. Bitfinex is the only exchange in the world that people can actually, any user can come to Brazil during the Carnival and pay anything in Brazil that accept Brazil. Every place accept Pix, so is Pix process more than credit cards here in Brazil now. So anyone with a Bitfinex account can come to Brazil and then can just go to any merchant and say, I want to pay by Pix. Read the QR code, send it straight from the platform. That's our way. And then the cool part about that, we do not, Bitfinex does not have an account with us. We don't need an account with Bitfinex. Everything happened on chain. So the user, well, Bitfinex are sending to us, to our HODs, the information inside the blockchain that what we need to pay. So there is no need of holding money from anyone. Everything happening on chain. The same thing happened, let's say, Edge wallet. Edge can also do the same thing. They download Edge, you still in control of your private key. You are the holder of your coins, and then you transfer USDT to us on the blockchain transaction. That will come inside the transaction, the things that we need to pay, the details, the payload that we need to pay, and then the payment. And all those things happen in less than 10 seconds. So basically is you still holding the private key, and you can do payments in Brazil. And you can go to an ATM machine, withdraw money if you need to, because we also connect to the ATM machines. And vice versa, we did the same way. So any user at Bitfinex can go there and say, like, I want to send, I want to load money in my account on Bitfinex. All you need to do is you create a Pix QR code, you send the payment on that Pix QR code, and then within seconds will be in USDT straight on your platform on Bitfinex, and then you can trade. So this product, this engine, it's called SwapX. And then SwapX is being used by other companies, any company that deal with Brazilians and don't want to come to Brazil can use that too, because it's really, really fast. And then it's very transparent. Everything comes inside the blockchain, is encrypted, so we don't have to hold anybody money to do that. That's one of the products. And then the other product is our own wallet, which is called Truther. And then Truther, which again, the user hold the keys. We don't want to do anything with the user's money. And now the complicated part is how to create this bridge, because the user holds the key. And then on this side is the financial system. How do you build a bridge which so fast, especially because a Pix QR code, the lifetime is only 20 seconds. So basically you read the QR code, and then you're going to transfer. But on our wallet, the user can pay with Bitcoin, the user can pay with USDT, and the user can pay also with Virtual, which is our stable coin. With Bitcoin, we're not using Lightning, so it's on-chain transaction. Now imagine sending Bitcoin, which everybody knows is like average block time is 10 minutes, but we do instant payment. So we have 20 seconds to do that payment. So in our wallet, we are doing that right now. So, and other wallets also be able to have the same technology. We've been in contact with Aqua, with Trust, with SafePal, because this technology is not just for Truther, can be used by anyone. Same thing for exchange. Other exchanges already approach us to use the technology. Of course, Bitfinex has a few other advantages than everybody else, but still the technology is available over there. But the cool thing is you hold your keys. When you want to do a payment in Brazil, you can do the same technology. We are working right now at this moment also to be used in Argentina, because Argentina also has a payment, QR code payment solution there. So we are trying to integrate with that too.
So is that mostly bridging to the real, to the local Brazilian currency, or what is the adoption situation like for people actually using Bitcoin and Tether on the ground in Brazil?
Well, it's huge, because a lot of people, there is 34 million people in Brazil that has no access to the financial system. And now, well, they have it, because now they can have the savings account, right? Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And then they have the current account, can be USDT or can be Virtual. Virtual is a stable coin paired with the Brazilian real. So if the user say, you know what, because the inflation thing, I prefer something a little bit more stable, well, then use USDT. You know, I don't want to be paired with US dollar because I don't know what Donald Trump is going to say tomorrow. So then you can stay in reais. But if the user wants something for the future, well, then you stay in Bitcoin. And then if you want to have your money within seconds, all you need to do is just go to any ATM machine and withdraw the money, or go to a pharmacy or go to a supermarket. Now, those 34 million users that did not have access before, now they do have access. And it's going to happen. The same thing is going to happen with Aqua or with SafePal. I think that will allow more users to actually have access to the traditional financial system. And then the other user that it's really nice what's happening, and like Argentinians coming to Brazil, and they are paying with Pix. Their bank in Argentina is connected to us, and then we actually do the payment over here. But does the bank in Argentina has an account with us? No, they don't. All they do, they transfer USDT on chain, we read the transaction, and we do the payment here. And then just for you to have an idea, Jesse, we're talking about 500,000 transactions a day. That's the amount of foreigners, because foreigners, they do not have access to the traditional financial system because they do not have a bank account in Brazil. Well, but now they can. They can use Edge, they can use Truther, they can use Bitfinex. So for adoption, that is helping a lot. And the process to buy, it's also so simple. If, for example, my account number, it can be my email, can be my telephone number, or it can be my tax ID number, right? Or can it be a random number created by the bank? When someone wants to send money to me, if I want that money to be automatically converted to Bitcoin, I'll tell the person, send reais to Rocelo at pix.btc. Done. Within 10 seconds, the transaction will be broadcast on the Bitcoin blockchain, and I'll have that in maybe a few minutes. It's going to be in my wallet. But if I want to receive any USDT, I can transfer to myself, or I can ask the person to say, you know what, send the money to Rocelo at pix.usdt. Then within seconds, I'll have USDT on my wallet under my control. But let's say I am a trader and I want to trade straight on Bitfinex platform. What I would do is I'll tell the person, say, you know what, send to Rocelo at pix.bfx. Done. Within seconds, the USDT is going to be in Bitfinex platform, and I can buy securities, I can buy any other coin that I want, I can buy the funny coins, I can do whatever I want.
That's amazing. So how do you measure growth? Like how do you measure adoption growth within Brazil, and what does that look like?
Well, it's getting more and more because, well, thanks to Donald Trump, right? People are buying more, but it's getting a little bit busted because they don't understand much the market. But now, because we are making more easier, and then a few TV networks invite me to go to talk on their shows and radio station, and also we are doing a very good job on conferences here in Brazil to show people the growth that we are doing. It's still not much that as we expect, but we are getting in our side for Truther every single day is like between 30 to 40 new users using, and we are seeing the transaction on chain. That is also the cool part, to do everything on chain, because anyone can see that is on chain, the volume that we are doing. So, and then more and more people are getting involved. But it's funny, when the Bitcoin price goes down, people kind of disappear a little bit. And then when the Bitcoin prices start to go up, people start to come again and asking questions. But we always tell, and then the most important is, as the inflation, it's a problem in countries like Argentina, Brazil, Bolivia, they always look into a way to have dollars. And the way we did with Truther, it is the fastest way for the user to have the dollars in hand. And countries near Brazil, they always have deals with Brazil. Bolivia, Paraguay, Uruguay, Argentina. And then when they see, all right, can I download this wallet and then I go to Brazil in the carnival, or I can go shopping in Brazil, I can pay straight from the wallet? Yes. Some in few months, few countries and also is going to be able in Latin America is going to be able to do that too. And also we are integrating a Visa card on our application on Truther. And then that's it. So a user will be able to say, okay, so I can stay in Bitcoin, I can stay in USDT. When I decided to use, I transfer to the card, then I can go there because there is no instant payment facility, then I can use the card. Correct. This is the best way that I'm seeing that people is going to be more and more in control of their money. And I can tell in Latin America, they're not crazy. They're not much crazy about Bitcoin. 90% of the user, they look into USDT. But with good wallets like Aqua, like Truther, you kind of say, why don't you buy a little bit of Bitcoin and see what happens? Because it's easy to do. So that's why I think it's the adoption to Bitcoin is going to take a while, but it's getting there.
What about on the corporate side? So of course we've got like MicroStrategy pursuing this kind of Bitcoin treasury strategy, and then you've got other companies in Japan now, also in Europe, listed companies. Are there any kind of corporates within Brazil or the region that are looking at similar strategies or using Bitcoin for their treasuries?
No, not yet. If you just remember, over here it's very complicated when you hold Bitcoins, especially when you use a company. It's a mess actually, because you need to report if you have a gain, if you have a loss, your problem. The government does not care if you have a loss, right? So it's still very complicated. But most of the companies, they are more on the personal level. They are holding because the shareholders are buying Bitcoin, not because the company offers it. So it's, here in Brazil, it's very few companies, but on the corporate side, those that is actually holding Bitcoin, believe you or not, are the banks. The banks are the ones who are actually saying buying Bitcoin and holding or selling to the users, their own users. So that's more on the corporate side here. I know there is a few companies that they are here in Brazil. They are talking with our regulator about a crypto fund from Brazil, here in Brazil, because there is no much yet. And but of course, it's like I said, I think we need a better regulation, especially here in Brazil. So then corporate can put on their treasure. They can have that on their treasure. But at the moment, no, they don't do it because it's too complicated on the financial side, and on the legal side, it's a nightmare.
What about on the nation state side? Like, what are we seeing in adoption from nation states? And just recently we had the news from the United States about building a strategic crypto reserve of some part. Looks like there's a lot of details to be defined there still. But is there, number one, is there any interest at the nation state level? And then number two, if the US does go through with this plan, what do you think the implications will be for the region? Will countries be more likely to adopt Bitcoin?
I spoke with a few congressmen here in Brazil and being called, I think, like 3 times already to do a talk on the Brazilian Central Bank and to speak with some senators and on a personal level, because also they want to understand a little bit what is being done in America. And a few congressmen, they do believe also the government should do that. And also me too. I think the government should start to hold Bitcoin. I think and then the best way to do that, instead say do it in a model, because let's say when you guys caught someone doing something illegal with cryptocurrency, don't sell it, hold it. And if I'm accepting cryptocurrency, so can I pay my taxes in those cryptocurrencies? So then the government should hold those. So the government should do that, especially because maybe the government is going to learn one thing: to hold money, to hold gold, it's very expensive. To hold dollars is also very expensive, and you need a lot of people, you need a lot of room to do that, you need space. Well, Bitcoin, all you need is a piece of paper and a pen to write the 12 words or the 24 words. It's so, and then you have a multi-sig, it's mathematical, rare, so there is nothing like that. So the government should do. But I think if the US decide to do, and the US do in a proper way, then other countries are going to copy that. It's not because it's a reserve of value. It's just because if the American is doing, they should do too. And probably they're going to do it just because they say, like, I'm not going to stay behind. I'm not going to left behind. I have to do the same. If America is doing it, because it's good. So then just hire some people that understand a little bit about Bitcoin, and we're going to do too. But they have no understanding why America is doing that and what is all the implication. Just have a look what El Salvador is doing. It's already amazing. So, but again, I think Brazil will do, but not as fast as people think they will do. There is congressmen that they are really thinking about it. Senators, I spoke with 2 senators. They already told me in some moment they're going to need me. They're going to need my help because they seem also that is a very good way to protect the reserves. Because if you have something that you don't need space and cannot be fake, and cannot be double spending, cannot be robbed, right? So then there is a lot of security on that side too. So, but I think especially small countries in Latin America, I think they're going to start to do that.
And do you think that they would be interested? So, I guess the Trump announcement, he said that it's not just going to be Bitcoin, it's going to be other digital assets, XRP, Cardano, kind of a basket. Do you think there would be interest in those other assets that are, I think you could see them as American tech companies? Or do you think the interest would be exclusively in something that's neutral like Bitcoin? I saw Samson had a tweet about this today, quoting Ted Lin, I think, and I thought that was kind of a really interesting point, that Bitcoin's the only neutral one, and therefore it appeals to non-US countries as well. So do you think the guys that you're talking to, would they want to build up a position in XRP or Cardano, which are kind of American-based, or are they looking to something that's more neutral?
Well, I have to call Michael Saylor on this one. There is no second best, buddy. That is just one, right? That is just one. And well, but of course, I mean, listen, I'm not like a maximalist, right? So for me, I do have my top 10 over there. XRP are not there, for sure, are not there. Okay, that's right. So the BS things we just leave behind. But I have my top 10. A little bit. I put a little bit of money. When I see cryptocurrencies such as Ethereum. I hate Ethereum. I do. That blockchain is really bad. It's horrible. But well, there is a need for it. People need the blockchain to transact some tokens, NFTs, to do other stuff. So then there is a value over there. Let's say, for example, Tron. Well, I hope they can do the USDT thing for free. We'll help a lot, all right? We're already doing that on Truther. Truther, we use Polygon, which is horrible, a lot of problems there, right? But there is a value there. So, meaning, when a blockchain has a usage, yeah, I do believe on that. Yeah, they should have it. Yeah, they should have it. They think they should incorporate on their thing, right? But a minimums, just minimal. They should see 90% and Bitcoin, 10% of the other 9 or 10 coins. But I think the reason that they are doing that is because someone from XRP, someone from that company, someone from that company, especially Cardano, and then all those is like someone went there and like talk a little bit on the guy's ear and then say, yeah, we should have that. Yeah, they should. I'm not saying they should not. They should, because it's for the good of the technology so that people can develop stuff on that. But all the blockchains out there, Jesse, I'm sorry, that every single one, they have issues, they have serious problems. And I'm always compare our blockchain, I always say, this thing's for the financial system. All right, great. So is there a blockchain over there that actually could support the traditional financial system or could replace MasterCard and Visa? None. There is not a single blockchain in the market at the moment that actually could replace a traditional financial system or a payment system or something like that. None. The only blockchain that is, I think it's close to it, but they were going to need also to do a lot of changes on the blockchain, is Liquid. For me today, Liquid, it is the only blockchain that if I have to spend time to study, to contribute with them, it's a Liquid. The rest, I am sorry. They are not prepared to be the blockchain to the financial system.
Yeah, I was going to say that maybe it's it's a layer 2 that would fill that role, and maybe it's different kinds of layer 2s. Maybe for payments, it's Lightning type things, and maybe for capital markets, for what we do at Bitfinex Securities, then maybe it's Liquid. Liquid seems to work pretty good for that. Are you guys doing? How much are you working with Liquid, and what are you doing?
Well, Liquid has something called confidential transaction, which is the only blockchain that has that facility. Yeah, the guys from Solana say, "Oh, hey, we also have that." Yeah, but you need the wallets to change. You need a lot of change to use that technology, right? So then someone say, "Yeah, Monero has that." All right, buddy. Monero is not being that much used. Zcash is not much that used. So
Can you explain what the confidential transaction is? Because I think
Sure.
it's on Liquid, it's different than a privacy coin like Monero or Dash or the other things, right?
Yes, it's completely the way Liquid did it is very smart. So and the way the transaction, when you send a transaction between that, so any token on top of that layer, such as USDT, if I transfer from my wallet to any person, you cannot see the transaction. You cannot see inside the transaction. You cannot see my balance. You cannot see all my transactions. But it's built on the layer. It's already there. So any token that we do on top of that, we can activate that facility, that feature, and then we can use to transact. Different like Monero, it's only Monero. So can I build a token on it? No, you cannot. Well, you can, but you need a lot of change, a lot of things to do. But on Liquid, it's so easy. Like, for example, Virtual. We did our own stable coin here in Brazil, built on top of Liquid. So when I transfer from my wallet to Jesse's wallet, for example, you cannot go to the blockchain and see my balance, which all the other blockchains has that. And why this is so important? I'll give a perfect example. During the kidnapping of my wife, the guy that was talking with me on the phone, he told, when he asked me for the amount of Bitcoins, which is crazy, he says like, I know you have Bitcoins because I bought Bitcoin from you. And I know you have Bitcoin. Yes, of course he knew that I have Bitcoin because I transferred from my wallet to his wallet. And guess what? He went on the blockchain and he saw my transaction. He saw my balance. So this is why it's so important to have the confidential transaction. And what Adam Beck did on Liquid, it's genius. It's amazing. But it's still things need to be changed. Like it's a 1 minute block. We need to drop that. The fees is based in Bitcoin. We should do the fees in USDT because so then makes much more usable. So I think Liquid has a lot of things that is good. And then also for you to do your token, having that particular thing which protects your privacy, protect your balance, it is, trust me, doing that in Switzerland, maybe it's not going to be a problem. Some people see my balance. Yeah, in Switzerland, maybe not. But Brazil, Colombia, Mexico, Argentina, Africa, that you're not a Bitcoiner. You are a target, okay? So that is the difference here. So that's why I think this is so important to have that. So, and then even like in our wallet, we do have USDT running on Polygon. We are about to change to move to Liquid. And also same thing for the Bitcoin. Bitcoin, we are using Bitcoin on chain, but we also going to move to Liquid. So one single blockchain, but of course we're going to do the bridge to make it easy to the user. It's like, for example, our USDT today, we have bridge for 10 other blockchains. So if the user wants to receive USDT on Tron, fine, we can receive on Tron, goes to Bitfinex. From Bitfinex, we send to the user wallet. That is a very small, very simple bridge, works so amazing. And then it's easy to go in and go out. We're going to do the same thing for Bitcoin and Bitcoin Lite. So you are on Liquid, but let's say you want to send on Bitcoin on chain, you just use the bridge, the person will receive on chain, or you can use the bridge also to do Lightning. So we are doing that way to make it easy to the users to use, but the most important, to be protected, because on Liquid, that is something that really is changing. And then I know in the future, other blockchains, we need to do that too.
Yeah, especially for capital market applications. You know, I hadn't really thought so much about how it can protect individuals from, like, you know, the $5 wrench attack. But for, you know, like a hedge fund or someone who's moving assets around, you don't want to flag it to the market what you're doing. You don't want people to know that you're sending USDT because the market to the exchange, because you're probably going to be buying. You don't want the exchange. You don't want people to know that you're sending like a security token because it probably means you're selling, or Bitcoin you're selling. So to have that kind of blinded, but at the same time, if a regulator wants to see what's going on, you know, and they make a request, then you need to be able to unblind it. Because if you take the opposite approach, like Monero or Dash, you know, unfortunately, the world we've lived in is there's places where you know, Japan's a great example where there's no privacy coins, right? Like it's just there's some jurisdictions where that's not going to be possible, unfortunately.
But with Liquid, you have the blind key. So with the blind key, you'll be able to see, the regulator will be able to see. And I also suggest that is another thing that most of people, they don't understand. The regulator is like, we are working now. Before, just for the audience to know, I fought all the banks here in Brazil. Okay, so I even went to a meeting with the Brazilian Central Bank with a T-shirt and was written, F the banks.
How'd that go over? How'd they like that?
Well, they didn't like much, but I told the president of the central bank that time, was the only clean T-shirt that I have that day. I could not have any other one. So, but that was it's a big problem on that time. So I fought every single one. Now I am going to those banks that I fought and say, guys, let me help you to put stable coin on the platform. Let me help to have USDT. So your users are going to have USDT in the platform. And guess what? Then they will also be able to have Bitcoin because using liquid. So it's going to be a Trojan horse using USDT to make them to start to use that. But most people, they don't understand one thing: why the banks here, especially in Brazil, did not allow it receive or send Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency out. Simple, privacy. Now, let's say the world of tokenization now is real. So everybody's tokenizing everything. So now there is no more shares. Now it's tokens floating around. The first thing the government is going to say is user A transferring this digital asset to user B, and the user B can see the wallet from user A, and everything that he's transacting here is on the blockchain, public and available to anyone to use it. No way. The regulator will not going to allow it that, because that is a data protection. Now imagine a big guy selling his stocks. Done. That's it. So everybody's going to try to liquidate the stocks because the guy is selling. So it's going to be a complete nightmare. So the regulator is going to be the first one to tell whoever is doing that, all right, if you know what, this kind of transaction cannot be in a bank, cannot be in a financial institution, because there is no privacy. And I know for sure that's going to be the point where the regulator will going to attack. So a bank putting Bitcoin inside the platform, if it's Lightning, okay. If it's not Lightning, no way, because there is no privacy. And then we're going to see a lot of blockchains started to working and trying to do something. But now, like I said, for the digital assets, for the real world assets, a blockchain like Liquid, it's mandatory. It's not something that is necessary. It's mandatory, because so then the regulators say, okay, can I see the transaction? Yes, when you want to use the blind key, and then you'll be able to see the transaction. So how about the public? No, nobody else can see the transaction. So that is the way to do it. So this is the first thing that central banks and all the Brazilian all the regulators all over the world, they should look at and then start to request that if you want to tokenize in anything, make sure you use Hadron and make sure you're using a proper blockchain.
Yeah, it's really the best of both worlds, I think, that kind of compromise. The other kind of cool functionality from a securities perspective that we like is the ability to set up whitelists. And I think that this hasn't been fully appreciated by kind of the market, because we see competitors doing things there where you're maybe one transaction away from doing this arbitrage where you take a whitelisted asset to becoming completely wild or unwhitelisted, and you have no idea who the shareholders are, or this kind of thing. I think eventually probably regulators will catch up to that. It takes regulators, I think, one cycle before they kind of figure out some of the kind of innovations that have happened in a cycle, but eventually they do catch up. But I wanted to, when I was at Plan B, I heard that and I hadn't heard about this before, is that there's a lot going on in tokenized assets in Brazil. So can you kind of let us know, like, what's the state of, what they call the RWA industry or the security token industry? What's going on in Brazil with this industry at the moment?
Well, our regulator here, the only sad part about they're very smart guys. They understand what is happening. Okay, especially central bank and our security regulator here. I think for the government agencies, they are the top ones in the country. Okay, but a small team, very small team. So those guys, they are full of work, but they do understand, and they are getting more and more companies to start to actually to tokenize the thing. But some of the tokenization in Brazil is not possible because there is no technology, the regulation is not that clear. But if they go to a place like, say, for example, El Salvador, and then let's say you do all the tokenization over there, everything the way it's supposed to be done, and you show the company over here, the regulator over here, and they will understand that everything it's okay and it's fine. So then fine, then you'll be able to do. So the regulator it's allowed more and more and more, but it's not like open to anyone. There is a few rules that you need to comply with. But the cool part is you can do overseas as long as in a regulated area, in a regulated country. Like I use the example of El Salvador because I know the regulation there, and it can be possible. But we've seen more and more traditional companies look into that. But of course, the number one in tokenization is the agribusiness. Agribusiness is agriculture businesses here. It's huge on that, huge. And then of course a little bit of energy, and then you have the other stuff. But the number one, it's agro, because Brazil, it's big on that. So they realize that's going to be the fastest way to jump on it.
And what are they tokenizing? Is it debt or equity, or what kind of assets are they tokenizing for these agro businesses?
Well, they're most of the time debt, most of the time. But now they already started to doing. It's very unique. They started tokenizing, let's say, soya. So the amount of tokens that you have is according to the amount of commodities. So they are starting to do that, but the majority is that. So then it's easy also to do that. But there is a guy. He used to be the CEO of a bank here in Brazil. His name is Guga Stock. He's doing some tokenization, very nice. And the way he's getting his startups, put those startups inside like a group and tokenizing this group. That is a kind of nice thing, because now if I'm an investor and I just want to invest, I just go there, buy that token. One of those group of small companies might become a unicorn, and then great, amazing, right? So this is something very cool. I think he's the first guy that is trying to do that. But he showed me a little bit, and then I'm talking to him to do on Liquid, to use Hadron. So because when he came with me for the ideas as well, you need to call to speak with CVM, with our financial security regulator here. But I think the best way to do it, take this idea, ship to El Salvador, do everything in El Salvador, bring back the token here to Brazil in a way that the regulators say, cool, you can sell the token here.
So if you do the tokenization onshore domestically in Brazil, can retail investors participate, or do you have to go offshore and then come back?
No, you can do here, but it's faster and easier to do offshore and come back.
Okay, I see. Okay, interesting. The idea of like a venture fund is kind of interesting, right? And that's kind of a missed opportunity. I think that was the idea behind Malay's token, right? It was it was structured like he said the wrong people got his ear, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's why I like it the way Google Stock is doing it, because it's very well done. I was surprised, because he's a guy that came from the traditional banking system. Yeah, it was the first digital bank, but when he showed to me, like, wow, that is a very good thing. It's very well done. And then he says, yeah, now we need to find the blockchain, we need to find the developers. Okay, so that part, it's with me, cool, easy. But yeah, I think it's very nice, especially for the country. Now you can have a dozen startups saying like, oh, I can have access to funds now. Yes, in a very easy and structured way, which is most important.
And it de-risks it for investors, because you can get access to an exit, right? Like you actually have a path to get some money out. It's not just a big door in and then like just a black hole.
Exactly. And it's not just few kids using the money to buy Ferraris, right? So there is someone who look into that.
No, that's great. So you've been in Bitcoin for so long. Like, what are you really looking forward to over the next year or so? Like, what do you think are going to be the next big kind of catalysts in Bitcoin adoption in Brazil and in the region?
Well, I think it's like for this moment, we are expecting to see what's going to happen in the US, right? So this is the main point, to see where the Bitcoin goes. Okay, but it's hard to put that apart, because everybody's talking, everybody's waiting. It's hard to put apart. But let's say we don't have that. I would say we're not going to have much, because we have like a cycle, and that cycle probably going to stay that. Let's say if we do not have US on the part, but we're going to probably see more and more things happening, not on the Bitcoin side, but people buying Bitcoin and holding Bitcoin. But the number of users using USDT, that it's huge. The users now, they understand that they can be their own bank, holding the private key, and then they have options to liquidate those USDT. It's not something like, just if I compare, for example, let's say I have a dollar account. Okay, let's say I have a dollar account on HSBC in Hong Kong, right? So now I want to say, just close account, leave it. I want to take all the money away just like that. Yeah, not going to be that easy. They're going to ask a lot of questions. Yes. Or let's say I have gold, but the real gold bars. Same thing. If I leave Brazil, number one, if I want to leave Brazil with gold bars, is illegal. You cannot leave Brazil with gold bars. Most of people, they don't know that, right? So then, yeah, you cannot leave Brazil with your gold bars. Forget about it. So, but now, okay, with USDT, I just can go to Ibiza and that's it. I can visit Jesse in Taiwan, and then good. I have that on me, right? And then now with the Visa cards, with the MasterCards connected to that, now there is no barriers for me anymore. All I need to do is create an account with the guys from Cast Finance, and then that's it. And I get a card, a digital card, in my mobile, and then I'm good to go. Now, imagine if you try to put that together, even let's say Google Pay decided to accept Bitcoin and USDT, but using a private block, a confidential transaction blockchain feature, right? That is going to be huge. So I think in a year, 2 years, we'll see big techs making available to the users to hold or either USDT and Bitcoin. That's what I think that we're going to see in the market if do not have the Trump situation. But Bitcoin is going to grow more because people want to use that as a savings, and USDT, it's going to grow way more. Because on the moment that if one day, I hope one day, Tether can make a deal with Google or can make a deal with Apple. I know it's difficult, but the day if that happens, then you're going to see exploding. So we're going to see the POS machines, people asking you if you want to pay with card or with stablecoin. I think within 3 years we'll be able to see that.
Yeah, that's interesting. So you think that Bitcoin a big part of Bitcoin demand could be driven by dollar demand around the world, and that Tether could be a big part of that.
Of course, because remember, how is the fastest way for you to buy Bitcoin? Buying USDT, buying Tether.
For sure.
Then you have a dozen places. You have more than 100 places that you actually can buy Bitcoin with USDT. And some people say that I don't like the KYC. Yeah, there is a place for you to buy Bitcoin without KYC with USDT. So even if you have to do, let's say, countries like Brazil that control so much your financial life. Okay, I want the government can know that I'm buying USDT, but I do not want the government knowing that I'm buying Bitcoin. I'm fine to do the KYC here in Brazil with the SmartPay to have my accounts. All right, cool. I'm fine to have that, but not my Bitcoin. Now you have USDT. Now you can buy Bitcoin without KYC in different exchanges if you want to. But I can only buy up to 10,000. Yeah, but you have 10 exchanges that you can buy up to 10,000 without KYC. So we're talking about 100,000. So the fastest way for you to get Bitcoin, it is through USDT. And the most important, large volumes. Countries like Brazil, we do not have that large volume in Bitcoin on the local exchange over here. You do have on the foreign exchange. How do you buy on the foreign exchange? You need USDT. So yes, people, you're going to get Bitcoin, but USDT is going to be the drive to do that.
Oh, that's wild. Well, that's really good. I appreciate your time today. Is there anything where can people go to find more about you and what you're doing and your company?
Well, just type my name on Google, then you're gonna see a bunch of things. We're gonna see good things, but definitely probably gonna be bad things, like a guy wearing a t-shirt after banks, right? So some people are not happy with me. Some Bitcoin maximalists, when I say I do not use my Bitcoin because we're not gonna be the stupid guy that's that paid like $1,000 for a coffee, right? So they don't like that too. The Ethereum guys probably gonna hate me because I said that thing does not work at all and is really bad. So you're gonna see a lot of those things, but you're gonna see also good thing about like how you get on it, how you see it, and of course you can become like something that we call truther. You can go there and download our wallet, and then if you come to Brazil next year for the carnival, then you'll be able to use it. Or if you come to visit Brazil, you'll be able to use it. And then, but the most important thing, like a lot of people, they send me message, right? So they're always asking me questions. Send it to me, me or one of the people that work with me, they're going to answer those questions. But the most important part, it is send the question. before you buy Melee coin, before you buy any of those things.
Do your own research. Yeah.
Exactly. And then send me question, and do not believe in everything that well, whatever I'm saying, just do not believe it. Use as a source of knowledge. And then if I say something like, yeah, Bitcoin is not good because it's a 10 minutes blockchain, well, go search it, go find out why that can be good and then why that can be bad. So it's really, really important. But ask questions. That is the most important part. And follow me on my network, on my social media. Same thing for the company. And if you come to Brazil, please come to visit us in Florianopolis. And I would love to have a coffee with you. But I'm not going to pay in Bitcoin. I'm going to pay in USD.
All right, that sounds good. All right, well, thanks a lot, Rocelo. I really appreciate your time today.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Bitcoin gives you financial freedom if you hold your own keys. Take full control with the new Blockstream Jade Plus, the leading hardware wallet solution for investors seeking secure access to Bitcoin capital markets. Visit store.blockstream.com